Hey, and welcome to day 3 of our Focus and Clarity Challenge. I am so excited to hop on with you guys here. This is going to be the last day of our 3-day challenge live streams here in the Facebook group, and I've had so much fun connecting with you guys the last couple of days. So today, on this 3rd day, what we're going to be doing is really kind of wrapping everything up that we've learned so far, which day 1, if you remember, was clarity, getting clarity on how to grow an attraction-based business and how to make it right for you. We also yesterday went through focus, which was focusing on marketing strategies and implementing the right tactics to help connect with the right kinds of clientele who are going to be high converting, high trust clients who are going to also allow us to tap into their referral networks as well. So today what I want to talk about are a little more the nitty-gritty things like the workflows and systems that are going to help you maintain this consistently. Because while we've spoken over the last couple of days, of course, we have talked a lot about these different strategies and a lot of moving pieces. And usually most real estate coaches, that's as far as they go. But where I kind of get really curious and obsess over is the actual process, like the step-by-step plan to get you there. Because it's one thing to go through the motions. It's a totally different thing to kind of follow an actual blueprint that is going to take you to success with absolute predictability. And that's kind of what I'm all about. So if you are here with me today, I'm going to give you a moment to hop on and get comfortable. I see Michelle in the comments. I see Cassie. Welcome. For those of you who have joined the Insiders Club this week, we also opened the doors to our new monthly membership, the Insiders Club. That has been so much fun welcoming you new members. And last night, those who joined early on got access to our bonus live working session. If you were there, let me know in the comments. We had so much fun going through a bunch of the Insiders Club strategies, what to expect. And also I dropped down a 30-day Instagram refresh plan, which was super fun to kind of walk through with you guys. And I'm actually in the middle of doing one of those myself right now. So if you were there, awesome hanging out. I hope that you enjoyed it. So let me know in the comments what you've thought of it so far. And if you are in the Insiders Club, please let me know any feedback or any thoughts you have just from your first impression. I want to know how it's going. So just let me know in the comments. At the end of this live stream, we'll have some Q&A time. So if you have any questions, if we need to talk about the Insiders Club, and if you want to know a little bit more about it, whether or not it's right for you and kind of what to expect, let me know in the comments as well at the end of this live stream. But for now, let's get into the work that we have for us today. So today we're talking about tools and automations. If we really boil it down, having really great goals and milestones is going to be a result of having the right tools and automations to get you there, right? Because it's one thing to say, oh, I want to build my business up to 100,000 this year, or I want to close X amount of deals. It's one thing to write that down on the whiteboard in your office and look at it. It's another to deconstruct that down into a step-by-step plan that's going to get you there. And I really think that the workflows, the processes and procedures are what help you get there, so that we can have more predictability to our days, more structure, and ultimately more focus and clarity on the things that matter, right? So, oh my gosh, I love it. Melissa was there. Michelle, yes, it was awesome. Carla, it was amazing. Thanks for joining. Andrea, so good. Can't wait to dig in. I'm glad you are loving the Insiders Club. Riley, I wasn't able to make it. I was doing an open house. Girl, get it. That's awesome. Can I still get the 30-day Instagram challenge? So actually, for those who have not joined yet, we are going to roll out a day 3 bonus for the 30-day Instagram challenge. So for those who already joined, they got early access to it. That is actually going to be our day 3 bonus. We're going to go ahead and extend it to anybody who has not been able to join yet, or anyone. Of course, Riley, you already joined, so yes, you are going to get that recording and that challenge for sure. Those files, it was an hour-long coaching session, guys, live. So those files take a while to upload. So once that's all uploaded and formatted, you, Riley, will be the first to know, just being an Insiders member already. And if you're still on the fence of joining us in the Insiders Club, that is going to be an additional bonus item. That was kind of an impromptu thing, but whatever. It was a lot of fun and you guys loved it. So I figured we may as well just share the wealth, right? Okay, let's get to it. So today, as I mentioned, we're talking about those tools, automations, and workflows. We're going to talk about a couple of different things because there's a few different aspects of our business that tie in here. And those of you who work with me, either in the Market Authority Academy or who have been following my content for a long time, kind of see how I take all these different aspects and weave them together, right? Because there's not one thing in our business that's just totally independent and stands alone. Every aspect of our business, whether it's branding, marketing, lead generation and conversion, the client workflows, the routines we have, the metrics that matter, all of those different aspects of your business really do have to work really well together. They have to be integrated to talk to each other so that your business is going to move forward consistently. And that's really what systems, processes, and workflows allows us to do. Cheers. Take a little sip. So you might be thinking, well, Steph, I mean, all these things are really cool. I get having clarity on an attraction-based business. I get some of the principles that you're sharing with marketing, but I've never been able to stay consistent, right? Let me know in the comments if that's you. If you've ever had trouble staying consistent, if you've ever said, oh, I feel like I'm winging it. I feel like I'm flying by the seat of my pants. I feel like a failure as soon as I start. Ouch. It's okay. We've all been there. Let me know if any of those sound like you in the comments. It's super common, and honestly, a lot of times when I'm talking to real estate agents, that's one of the first things that they say. That's their biggest pain point. They just feel like they can't stay consistent because they don't have a solid plan. And that's kind of the secret of systems and workflows, right? You want to systemize the processes that matter each day for more predictability and scalability, right? I'm getting a me from Cassie, so I know I'm not alone here for sure. So a system and a procedure and a standard operating procedure, a workflow, all of those are really the same things. And so whenever we talk about systems, I really like to kind of describe how they actually are defined and what they really are, because I think a lot of times they can be vague. They can feel like a vague term, or you're not really sure what the context behind that is. So truly, whenever we're talking about systems, workflows, standard operating procedures, all those are a series of step-by-step instructions that are designed to complete a specific task or procedure to complete replicable outcomes, right? So again, I'm going to say that one more time. A system or a workflow is a series of step-by-step instructions designed to complete a specific task or procedure to create replicable outcomes. And so I'm actually going to put that in the chat in case you are taking notes. So let me go ahead and do that for you. Workflow. Yeah, I'm seeing Riley, yes, consistency is my biggest issue. Well, Riley, you also have a beautiful brood of children that you're caring for too. You've got a lot of other things on your shoulders, like a lot of us do. And it can be hard to stay what we think consistency should look like, because a lot of times we think that consistency should be very rigid and unbending. But I argue that a lot of times consistency should actually be able to flex with us. And being really consistent doesn't mean being consistent Monday through Friday, 9 to 5. It means every single day consistently, or at least 80% of the time, knowing that you are getting the right things done, even if it's only 20 minutes of work or 2 hours of work. Because sometimes that's all we have. You get it, like the kids get sick, the school or daycare calls, you got to go pick them up, or a client comes in and, some deal is blowing up and you have to go put out a fire. Things happen. And this is a crazy business where there's a lot of moving parts that are outside of our control. And what a workflow does is allows us to get really, really clear on these specific priorities in our business that we cannot drop. And it gives us the opportunity to go back somewhere to pick up where we left off if and when our day gets derailed by life. It's not about a rigid expectation of every single minute being accounted for in your day. Does that feel good? I want to say that again. It's not about a rigid expectation of every single minute of your day being accounted for. Instead, it's really just about being able to understand exactly what you can be doing each day to move the needle in your business and not letting those things drop. Right? And in any given day, you're going to have a mix of different workflows that you're going to have to carry out. And so I'm going to give you some ideas and examples here. And I'm also going to go ahead and put them in the chat. So if we look at these, I'm going to take one more sip of water, you guys. I've got the hiccups and I'm like trying to ward them off here. I was chasing around Grady and I think it gave me hiccups this morning. So workflow ideas and examples. Social media marketing is an easy one, right? Growing your database and network, authentic engagement, consistent posting. Client retention. That's another really important one. How can we make sure that we get 5 deals from every 1 client? In the Insiders Club, that's a lot of what I talk about, and that's a lot of how our systems are geared towards. Same thing in Market Authority Academy. That's just a principle that I really believe in. How do we take 5 deals from every 1 closing, right? How do we do that? Well, that's client retention. So the post-close program that you carry out, the birthday program, the referral program, annual and quarterly events to stay in touch with your client base. What about database marketing? That's for everyone, right? Like in your database, newsletters, mailers, pop-bys, holiday gifting, holiday cards. There's a lot of things that we could be doing there. Metrics that matter. Keeping a pulse on your business, understanding where things are going, understanding where your time is going, right? So I'm going to go ahead and put all of that there in the chat for you. You can kind of take that. Those are just a couple of categories of systems and workflows that we could be operating at any given time. Now that's a really long list that I just put in the chat. I just put like, what is that? 13, 14 different things in the chat. Listen, you're not going to do those every single day because you don't have a referral program to conduct every single day because you're not getting referrals every day likely yet. Right? You're not sending database newsletters every single day. You're not doing pop-bys every single day. What you should be doing daily needs to be accounted for. And that's going to be growing your database and network. That's going to be talking to your database, maybe doing some database calls. I'm talking like 5 or 6, not a lot, right? It's those tiny little focus items that are really going to help you up-level your business. And what I love about this kind of approach to the real estate business and cultivating an attraction-based foundation for your real estate biz is it allows you to account for the other responsibilities that you have in your life. Because, for example, you might be a small but mighty team, right? You might be a small but mighty team leader. You have a lot of agents who need your help. And you might have a complex organization that requires your oversight over a lot of different parts of the office. And when that happens, when agents typically go and start scaling their team before they have these in place, what happens? Their revenue producing activities drop off. Their production tanks, their personal production tanks. It always takes longer to get their agents profitable than they expect. And their income drops, right? Suddenly they start having those early day problems of the feast and famine where they're going months without closing deals. And they're a seasoned agent with a thriving from the outside team. But this happens all the time when team leaders start to scale a team before they're ready, right? Let's look at the solo agent on that side. If you're a solo agent, you have to wear 47 hats every single day just to keep your business running, let alone your household responsibilities. You might have a spouse that, I don't know, you want to hang out with. You might have friends that you want to see from time to time, family. You might have kids, right? So like, how do you hold these in balance, or how do you integrate these different parts of your life to make sure that you're not going to miss out on anything that's really important? This is the work that helped one of our MAA agents, Joelle, find that consistency and clarity. When she went through this process, she had a 2 or 3 year old at home. She actually just recently, a couple of months ago, had another baby, and her husband is in the military, right? So she has a lot of home responsibilities and she has a lot on her plate all the time. But that doesn't mean that she wants to give up on her dreams and ambitions and the desire to contribute financially to her home, right? Let alone the commitment that she has to her clients, because she's an incredible real estate agent, right? So she said, going through this process, I went from stuck, overwhelmed, feeling like a failure, to way more clear and empowered with my business with the systems in place here, right? So she's now able to hold herself accountable and have an understanding of where to pick up when she's got to drop off, right? And deal with the fire somewhere else. And she always has something that she's working on to grow. And I think that's the key. When we're talking about systems and workflows, you're never done. And I think that there is this fear of getting started when it comes to systems and workflows because you think it has to be done and perfect. But if it's done and perfect, that means your business is no longer growing and evolving, right? Because if your business right now is consistently closing 1 to 2 deals a month, let's just say, for example, and you create systems to help support and maintain that and continue to grow that, do you think those same systems are going to be as effective for a business that consistently closes 5 to 7 deals a month? Let me know in the comments. If you have a business that's consistently closing 1 to 2 deals a month and you systemize those workflows to maintain those results and you continue to grow, with that maintaining system, taking a lot of that work off your plate, you have time to go procure more clients, grow your business, find new lead sources, and then your business is going to get to that next level. 6 months later, 12 months later, you're closing 5 to 7 deals a month. Are those systems you initially put in place really designed to help facilitate 5 to 7 deals a month? No, absolutely not. And they shouldn't, right? You should constantly be making time to grow and evolve your business. And so I think that's one thing that really holds real estate agents back from starting this process. Number one, it just feels clunky, right? It's work. So it's hard to know where to get started. But number two, it feels like, I'm never going to make this perfect. There's so much going on in my business. How am I going to make it perfect the first time? Well, it's not designed to be perfect the first time. You know, we're supposed to start somewhere so that we have somewhere to grow from, right? And that's really, really the challenge there. So if we're looking for a specific goal, what we want to do, number one, in this whole plan that we've created for creating an attraction-based business, number one, we have to begin communicating and serving with our database or grow one and an audience, right? Like we've already established that. But once you close that client, that's when your work starts. And that's when we're really going to start initiating all these other systems that are going to run in the background to really make sure that we're taking that one closed client and getting 5 deals from them within the next 2 years, right? That's how you grow an exponential business based on attraction principles, right? And the systems that are going to take us there, we're going to create them in 4 easy steps. So if we look at 4 easy steps, I'm going to drop a quick little image in here, just a guide. And I want to do this as an image in the chat because what I hope is that maybe you will be able to, I'm not going to do it in chat. I'm not going to be able to drop an image in the chat. What you might be able to do is print this. So I'll make sure to send this out, but I'm at least going to type it for now. I want you to remember our systems framework. It's our 4-step system framework. It's idea. Okay, so we start with idea. I is document. I'm sorry, identify. It's been a long week, friends. I is identify. Okay, so you want to identify the workflow and the result that you want to see. And a workflow is not database marketing program. Like, yes, that is one, but like, let's get a little more clear. Maybe your workflow in this instance is sending out newsletters. Maybe it's coordinating Popeyes. Maybe it's a couple of other tasks within the umbrella of the database marketing program, but it's just a part of it. What about social media, right? Maybe it's specifically the workflow around prospecting through engagement on social media. You guys in the Insiders Club already know that's 10-10-5. Market Authority, you guys know that's 10-10-5, right? That's the system that we have for that. So it's not broad, it's very, very small. We're going to identify the workflow. D in idea stands for document. So you're going to document the different steps it takes to get there, right? So all this has to look like is, maybe go through the motions of what you're trying to do and write down every step you take. E is execute. Once you have written down that workflow and you have it itemized as a checklist, because remember, that's all we're doing here. We're creating checklists. Where you decide to hold on to them is one thing, but these are checklists that we can follow so that we can later delegate. You're going to execute that workflow a couple times, and then you're going to iterate it as necessary. Meaning if you go through the process and you're like, you know what, I didn't like the way I was doing it this time, let's change this part. Or let's change this communication, let's change this. You're going to iterate, you're going to fine tune the process as you execute it a few times. And then A is going to be automate. Now this is where everyone tends to get stuck. So I just put that in the chat for idea. Idea, identify, document, execute, and iterate, automate. Where most agents start is E and A, execution and automation. A lot of times they just kind of like start and they start doing work and then they realize they're doing things redundantly or inefficiently, or they're not doing the right things at all, right? And that's okay, because that still gives us a place to begin. That means we have to go back to I, re-identify the workflow we're trying to fix and the result we want to see. What agents do sometimes is go straight to automate. They buy a CRM, they buy Sync, they buy Boomtown, they buy Conversion. You know what I mean? They go into Ylopo, they do these other things. They buy Realtor.com leads, they buy Zillow leads, they start trying to like do Facebook ads. Basically, they're throwing money around, trying to fix problems that they don't know exist. And that's not actually correcting the issues, the underlying issues, because what they've done is not even identified whether or not that's the right workflow they need to be starting with. And a lot of times when you're going that route, it's a feeling of needing more in your business. I need more leads. I need more to-dos. I need more actions. But I'll tell you right now, my prospecting time is like 20 or 40 minutes a day at this point. That's all we need to keep our business moving. My marketing spend is lower than it has ever been. My marketing spend is so low, you guys. Like I probably pay less than even a lot of like newer agents with fewer clients than I do. So like, that's just all to say, when you can take this process and go through idea, it allows you to do three things. It allows you to do, number one, it allows you to create systemized workflows that will save you time, energy, money, and reduce redundancy and errors. If you feel like you are inconsistent, if you feel like you are flying by the seat of your pants or winging it, this piece is missing and this is what's causing it. So systemized workflows are going to save you that time, energy, money, and reduce redundancy and errors. So the second thing it's going to do, it's going to allow you over time to focus on one thing at a time. So this right here, this tip, number 2, is ultimately why I decided to create the Insiders Club. Because in the Market Authority Academy, that is a total business transformation program. And it's incredibly effective and impactful for the real estate agents who go through that. But that's not the only way to do it. You can go through, create and update systems as you work through small steps at a time and complete 1 to 2 systems, maybe a week, maybe a month, until you have a lot, right? Like this is not something that you have to carve out 3 days back to back for to really bury your head down, like roll up your sleeves and get to work. This is something that you can do just in conjunction with your workday. It doesn't have to derail everything, right? Not that that's what the Market Authority Academy does to agents. It's not like a derailing program, but it is a lot more intense and in depth, right? Than just a monthly subscription. The third tip that I've got, it's going to help you make better decisions in investing in tech and hires, right? So I'm going to put that in the chat too. So like I said, so many agents skip these really important steps of the process and waste so much money by investing in tech, by investing in people, by investing in other just random things that they don't need to be paying for. And as a coach who's also a real estate agent who has probably wasted at least $100,000 in the last, in my first couple of years in business, easily, if not more. So embarrassing. As someone who's gone through that experience, I understand the value of a dollar, especially when you're starting out, or especially when your business is really like finally getting there and growing, and every dollar still counts. Like that doesn't, even when you have cash to burn or cash to spend and invest, that doesn't mean we want to be flippant with that, right? And so that's why we want to make sure that every dollar is going to be working for us, because every dollar is so hard won in this business. And that's one of my like driving principles when it comes to coaching. I'm always going to say like, hey, less is more. Let's make sure that we're going to be a master of a few things before we start, blowing up with a couple of other stuff. And that's how we're going to then begin scaling our business. I'm going to stop here with any questions. We're just about there. I know this was a lot of stuff that we covered, right? And you might be feeling a little bit like, oh, there's a lot of things to think about here. And maybe I had some ideas that weren't quite on track, right? So let me know if you have any questions or if we need to dive in deeper with anything that we've just covered. I can hear my son Grady playing in the other room, and it sounds like he's having a good time. So we're going to talk next about scaling our business just for a few minutes. We're going to touch on this. We're going to touch on how these items that we've covered are going to help you grow your attraction-based business past 6 figures. And I say 6 figures because that tends to be the first milestone for a lot of agents. But really, this is the principles that are going to lead you to wherever you want to go. And I also want to remind you that sometimes 6 figures or like a dollar amount or something is not like the only thing, right? So we also have to consider the lifestyle we want. It's kind of like would you rather be poor and happy or rich and sad? Like, I kind of just want to be rich and happy. Is that so much to ask for? I don't think so. I want to be able to contribute to my son's college fund every single year. I want to be able to max out my IRAs and my investment accounts so that I can retire when I desire to. I want to be able to invest in more real estate. I want to be able to hang out with my kid. I want to take him on a trip to Europe next year. I mean, ultimately, I want to take myself on a trip to Europe, and just my son can be there too. That's fine. He's going to be too young to really know what's going on. But it's okay to want these things. It's okay to think about a life that you could have and then work towards that, right? I think that's having that vision is important, and it's also important to keep you motivated so that you can maintain the work. Carla says, will this be covered in the Insiders Club? For sure. That's what we're doing every single month, looking at new systems and workflows that you can begin implementing in 20 minutes a week or less, right? And it's kind of the dream that I had, where it's like this stuff doesn't have to be so intense all the time, and it doesn't have to be complex, and it doesn't have to be confusing, right? So that was kind of the inspiration behind Insiders Club, because I also wanted to make it accessible to all real estate agents, right? Cassie Grady's trip to Europe. So it's actually going to be Grady and at the time a 6-month-old. So that'll be interesting, right? Dare to dream, Steph. Okay, so here's what we're going to do. Number 1, as we're scaling our business, we're going to keep operating costs consistent. So if you don't already do this, plan a calendar reminder on your calendar of choice every 30 days, the last week of the month, to print off your credit card receipts, print off your bank statements, go through them, cancel, anything that is not actively being used or serving you at that time, right? Or at least just kind of take stock and make sure things are consistent. So if you are trying to decide if you should start doing mailers, for example, can you do mailers to your farm? Yes, you could do mailers to your farm. Can you do mailers to your farm consistently for 12 to 18 months before expecting 1 lead? That's a different question, right? You're going to keep your operating costs consistent, and you're going to plan for the long game. Number 2, You want to increase your revenue exponentially. Again, always be thinking of how we can scale. Scaling is by increasing revenue without increasing time and energy. We're going to say that again. Scaling happens when you increase your revenue and production without increasing the time and energy that you put in. So remember when I said that my prospecting now is down to like 20 or 40 minutes a day, if that, right? We're doing more business than we ever have. But it's because we are focused on the right things and we've created an attraction-based business and we understand how to get more organic referrals and get repeat business. We talked earlier this week about, hey, Caitlin, welcome. I'm so glad you can make it. We talked earlier this week about your lifetime value of your client. We talked about how to teach our clients how to refer us, those kinds of things, right? That happened in Clarity and in Focus, both those sessions. So we always want to be thinking about how can I increase my revenue exponentially without working that much harder? And remember what we talked about yesterday, or maybe this was last night in the working session. Someone said, man, it's so hard to even get started with some of this stuff. And you know what, my tip was, well, why don't you ask yourself what it would look like if it was easy, right? Like, you know, if you had to do a reel for the first time, you had to try something new on social media, and you were afraid and nervous because it's something new and it feels foreign, and we're like, oh, this is like a totally foreign concept to me. I've never done this kind of video before. I don't even know how to create a reel. Where do I begin? Just stop, get yourself out of that overwhelm and think, what if it was easy? What would this process look like if it just flowed? If it was easy and it didn't derail my day and it didn't take hours of time? So like I was working on creating a reel earlier this morning. I have to redo the video that I'm going to do it with, but that reel specifically is going to take me less than 15 minutes to put together. It's super easy because Instagram actually makes creating reels really easy. So just a kind of thought there. Number 3, you want to work less, right? Tied right in while closing more. Okay, so how can we, so that's going to be really tied into your database, right? So how can we, and the systems that we're using, what systems and tools can help us work less while closing more? What people can help us work less while closing more, right? Is it a transaction coordinator? Is it an administrative assistant, a marketing assistant? What tasks are taking up so much of your time right now that you can remove yourself from the equation? So for example, one of our big moves in the last couple of years was to bring on a virtual assistant. And it was like a game changer for us because I always assumed that it was going to be really hard to train our virtual assistant. I assumed they were going to need a lot of oversight. I assumed that there were going to be a lot of just like challenges with the process that I made up in my head. And then we found a placement firm. Again, what if it was easy? We found this incredible real estate virtual assistant placement firm who has extremely high vetting standards for the virtual assistants that they place with real estate agents. They put them through a coaching and training process. They're basically matched with you to make sure it's a perfect fit. You get to choose from a couple of candidates. And if you don't like the fit, then you can be placed with somebody else to try again. Right? And I was like, well, this is like risk-free. And if anything, it's going to be month to month. I'll just like, it's a month-long trial for me. I'll just look at it like that. And that individual ended up becoming one of the most valuable people on our team because she's a workhorse and she just powers through all of the stuff that we give her. And she's so incredible. And it's so much more simple than I thought. But again, we're allowed to close more now. We're allowed to do more because it's not all just on me. It's not all just on Bryce, my husband, right? We have additional help to continue doing things. And so just another thing to think about, how can you work less while closing more? What systems do we need in place? What tech can help us do that? What people can help us do that? And it doesn't have to be people. It doesn't have to be like, you know, a TC or an admin. Maybe it's just a CRM that you format the right way. You know, maybe it's investing in something like send out cards to take care of a lot of your database mailings so that you don't have to do it by hand. But without identifying those workflows, it's hard to make those decisions. So how do we feel about all of that? Do you see the power? This is really the key to that unlimited income, the freedom and flexibility. All of that is rooted in building an attraction-based business. We started with clarity on day one, getting clarity on how it can work for you, right? Whether or not it might be the right fit for your existing real estate business model, that kind of stuff. Number two, on the second day, we went through focus items for marketing strategies and kind of how we're going to start procuring our business. And then today we talked all about the setting goals for proper systems and workflows in our business to help get us there. How do we feel with all that? There's a lot of stuff, right? And I know that you might be thinking a little bit like, I see how this works and I understand how this works, but I still feel a little bit of that drinking from the fire hose sensation, right? So this is where the Insiders Club comes in, right? So if you are looking for a little extra help in this place, but you want something that's lightweight, that's accessible, that you can execute on each month without breaking the bank, without completely derailing your time, all that good stuff, that's what the Insiders Club was really created for, right? So Carla said, will all of this be covered in the Insiders Club? Yes, for sure. This is exactly the kind of work that the Insiders Club was designed to help you do. And so I hope that if you have questions, please ask me about it here in the comments. I'd love to share more about it and how it works and kind of walk you through a little bit about, everything that you can expect. And again, if any of you are already in the Insiders Club or Market Authority and you want to share your thoughts and just kind of let people know it's good stuff, do that in the comments now. Kara says, I keep vacillating back and forth about hiring a VA. At what point in your biz, unit-wise perhaps, did you make that decision? So, Kara, it's kind of a chicken and the egg thing, right? Because a lot of times a VA is what's going to allow you to close the units that you want to see. So I think it's when you can afford it. So, for example, for us, let me do the math really quick. I mean, I wish that we had done it a lot sooner, and we're about to consider hiring a second person too. We have one full-time VA. I would love to have another. So we basically spend every pay period $440 for a part-time VA. It's double that for a full-time. So can you afford to pay somebody $11 an hour to give you more bandwidth, to give you more space, to help you avoid making any mistakes, to help you avoid drowning in overwhelm, to help just give you a little bit more time to work on the business to get it to where you want to be? Right? So I think that a lot of times we actually have to make these hires. The big thing that changed for me was we have to become the agent who closes the amount of units we want to see before we close the units we want to see. And our business has to become the business that closes the amount of business we want to see before, before we start. Does that make sense? So that's why I always say do it before you think you need somebody in place, because if you are getting to those units where you want to be, you're not going to have time to do the onboarding and training anyways. And by the way, Cara, you're part of Market Authority. Throw her into the program when you hire somebody and have them start putting your systems in place. So if there's that's kind of the benefit of being in the Market Authority Academy. I know this is a separate conversation now, but you have access to an entire business system that somebody else can be implementing for you. That's why I created it that way, right? Until you get there, maybe the Insiders Club is a better fit for anyone else who's watching, who's well, I just need to get to the place where I'm closing consistent deals, right? So I get that too. So I did put the link in the comments there for the Insiders Club. We are going to roll that out. There is only a couple more days that the Insiders Club is going to be available. But just a quick reminder, your bonus for today, if you join, you are also going to get access to the 30-day Instagram refresh plan. And I think that was a really good plan that we went through, and I had a lot of fun sharing that last night during office hours. So Nadia, I'll go ahead and make sure that you've got that there. There's the link. Although did you already try? Oh wait, no, I think I saw another comment for you. Maybe that's what I was thinking. Mr. Cohen, appreciate all the value you dropped. My pleasure, my friend, and thanks for hanging out with me. I'm so glad that we got to spend these 3 days together. Amanda said, very helpful information. Now it is putting into practice. Thanks for a reminder not to try to pack it in 1 day or even 1 week. Perfect something before adding something. Oh, I like that. Perfect it before adding. Yeah, I like that a lot, Amanda. But remember, it's never going to be perfect. Just get it to the place where it needs to be, and then over time, we know where to come back to get it up, up, and up, up. Like up, 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 up. We always want to make sure that we're constantly improving and growing. Michelle, I like how the Insiders Club is focusing on one topic a month with a step-by-step guide. Yeah, that's one thing that I really thought was like, how can we look at one thing each month? And just like Amanda said, perfect that, or really hone in on that, and then move on to the next thing. So you're constantly growing without getting stuck in the weeds or spending hours on YouTube and Google University trying to figure it out yourself, that kind of thing. Ritz, hey friend, going back to teaching, so wondering if the Insiders Club is flexible, like can I set the times to meet? So Ritz, good question. So actually this is a monthly action plan. So really what I'm delivering to you is a PDF guide that's going to be, multiple pages that break down your weekly tasks, basically. So you kind of choose how much you want to do in a given month. You can do all of it, or you can do just the portions that you feel matter most to you. And then we have one live Q&A session per month in the Facebook group. Pretty simple, right? So you can get the replay for that, but obviously you are also in Market Authority, so you get email support. If you need me, just shoot me an email, my friend. I've got you. Okay, cool. Let's see. I'm just going through. Yes, thank you. Okay, can I walk through? With that question, that makes me think I need to share a little bit more about how the Insiders Club works. Can I do that really quickly if we have a few minutes? Let me know in the comments. Say, go ahead. And I'll share a little bit about how Insiders Club works. I really wish that I could share my screen, and I feel like I just don't know how to do that. I'm just kind of looking really quick. Yeah. I'm afraid that if I try pushing buttons, I'm going to lose you guys. But if you're cool, I'll share a little bit about how the Insiders Club works, what to expect, and then we'll go from there. So, the Insiders Club, kind of like I mentioned, when I was creating the Insiders Club, I really wanted a more accessible solution to those who maybe were not ready to go through a total business overhaul through the Market Authority Academy, or even those who are an MAA who wanted just that extra little focus piece each month to make sure that they're diving in on one aspect of the business each month. And so what it is a monthly subscription that is going to deliver to you basically all of the action plans that you need each month, right? So when I'm talking about action plans, we're going to create a theme. Okay, cool. I'm seeing all those. Fritz, go ahead. Erica, go ahead. Awesome, you guys rock. Okay, Caitlin, Jamie, Amanda, love it. Okay, and you know what? I have seen you, my friend, in here before, and I'm just so afraid of pronouncing your name wrong. So I just hearted your comments, but I just want you to know that I see you, and I'm really happy that you're here. But I don't want to disrespect you by pronouncing your name wrong. I'm sure it's so beautiful, but I don't want to say it wrong here on the live stream. I feel like I could do it, but I don't want to just try. Okay, anyway, so the Insiders Club is going to be a monthly action plan designed to be tailored to where you are in your business. And so when we really started the Insiders Club, what we asked ourselves was like, what is the goal here? Like, when I look at how I'm coaching agents in the Market Authority Academy, when I look at the free content I'm putting on YouTube, when I'm looking at all these different things that I'm doing, what is the ultimate goal? Well, it's to create an attraction-based business, right? And most agents agree when they learn about that format that that's what they want to. They want to be working with they want to be working with dream clients. They want to be working with those who respect them. They want to stop chasing leads. They want to attract them instead. And they want to have the tools and systems to grow exponentially without sacrificing other parts of their life that matter. That to me is an attraction-based business. But regardless of where you are in experience level as a real estate agent, you could be brand new or you could be 20 years in. You're going to find yourself on a certain path to get there. We call that the success path, and that path is broken down into 5 stages. So depending on where you find yourself in that path, if you're just starting out or you're getting closer or you're almost there, and at that point it's, just focusing on just continuing to grow, depending on where you are in that path, there are certain priorities that you need to hit in order to get to the next level. And that was kind of the success path that really drove the Insiders Club. And ultimately, it's what we're already doing in Market Authority, but we kind of pulled that out, took a high level look and said, okay, what is the journey that we're really taking here? And that is the success path to creating an attraction-based business. So what we did was each month we said, let's look at a different aspect of our business. So in September, it's social media. Let's look at a different aspect of our business and let's make sure that we are getting everybody who's on that path closer to where they want to be in regards to that one aspect at a time. So again, it's perfecting one thing at a time, kind of like we're talking about, right? So in social media, what we did in the September issue of the Insiders Club was we broke down 5 different task routines that those agents can take depending on where they are in the success path. So if you are just starting out, these are your 3 tasks this month to really see huge progress. If you are kind of cruising right along, but you're a little closer, these are the 3 tasks, and et cetera, et cetera. And so what we did was we really focused on those priorities on how you can move your business predictably each month. And so that's why we have this big PDF plan that's going to walk you through each step every single month. That's going to be delivered monthly. With that, you also get an exclusive coaching video from me where I'm like sharing how this process works. For example, in September, I'm going deep on social media and how it works with the attraction-based business and how different agents of different stages of the success path can implement it for their business. So you get that exclusive video that won't be shared anywhere else but the Insiders Club. And then we also have a ton of bonuses too. So for example, some of the bonuses that we rolled out was your brand story workbook. And the brand story is something that I talk a lot about because it's so important. It's the most important component to an irresistible attraction-based brand. And what the brand story allows you to do is articulate why somebody should hire you over your competition. You have to be really good at sharing that across every lead source, across every marketing channel for you to understand how that's all going to work, right? And so, and to keep your conversions up. And so we actually have a really easy to do, but a very impactful, powerful exercise as a bonus, the brand story. And I walk you through a little video lesson on how that works as well. And then the last thing that we included as well was our social media editorial calendar, because a lot of people want to know how to plan this out in advance or how to 10x their content. So when it comes to my kind of content strategy, I'm really obsessed with let's create less content and repurpose more of it. So just like I want 5 deals from every one client, I want 10 pieces of content for every one that I create. And so we came up with this really cool editorial format of a social media calendar that we rolled out as a bonus too. And I have a whole tutorial on how that works. But you're going to get this every month. So for example, in October, we're looking at time management. So we're going to have routines, we're going to have schedules, we're going to have prospecting hours, stuff like that. We're going to have different task management systems to help you do that. Maybe some Asana work, right? So that's going to be really fun. And what we're going to do is every single month look at a different themed topic on where we can just really narrow down and make some massive impact. So Maritza says, worth doing this in MAA at the same time. Well, about 65 MAA agents have already decided yes. So I think that I kind of assumed that yes, they would want to. And then when we rolled it out to them first, they were like, oh yeah, this is super cool. So if anybody is here who's in MAA and who also joined Insiders Club, just let us know in the comments. So Kara says, yes, I'm in both and often get overwhelmed trying to manage the chaos in my deals. This will help me to streamline my thoughts and priorities and just focus. So I think it's also really good for those who have gone through the program a couple of times, because most of our agents in Market Authority Academy go through it a couple of times, kind of like we talk about on the coaching calls. And for those who want to continue developing their systems, instead of having to go through it again, what they can do is just look at one aspect each month, right? So again, it's just like that yummy little add-on of a dessert every single month. So you can kind of do it both. If you're not ready for the Market Authority Academy, right? So if you're not worried or if you're not ready for that, then what you can do instead is use it as an intro, right? So it can be a really great intro to help get you acquainted with our process, help you start seeing traction in your business so that when you are ready for a total business transformation and you're ready to get to that next level and have the fastest path to getting there, then maybe that's when you do join the Market Authority Academy. So that's kind of how that works. So Rit says, I guess I'm just worried I might be biting off more than I can chew with the school year starting back up. Then it sounds like Insiders Club might be a really good fit because it's just stuff you can do in 20 minutes a week or less. Right, so maybe as you're getting acquainted back into the school year, this is a good little add-on to just keep you focused, even if we have to pause Market Authority a little bit. It's up to you, though. It's totally up to you. The last thing that we're doing each month in the Insiders Club, of course, and I'm going to go ahead and leave this link in here because I'm going to hop off with you guys here in a moment, is obviously a live Q&A in the Facebook group. So you do get access to a private community for Insiders Club specifically. I'm going to go in and do a live Q&A once a month. Make sure you have any questions answered. Make sure that you, are going through the content well. See if I can assist you in any way. You'll get support in that Facebook community as well. So that's what I've got for you guys. We are closing the doors to Insiders Club this weekend, so definitely make sure that you are in before then if you're still on the fence. But if you have any questions, you can just email us at hello@StefanieLugo.com and we can get you all squared away. I had a really good time hanging with you guys these last few days, and I want to thank you so much for taking the time to invest in your business and learn with me. I love being able to share these strategies with you and just share something new. And if all you got was maybe a little bit of a reframe of a limiting belief that was holding you back, then I feel like I've done my job. But hopefully you got a lot more from that too. So definitely let me know how I can continue to support you guys. And I'm so grateful to spend every minute I do with you. And thanks for always showing up and being a part of this awesome community. All right, guys, I'm going to let you go. I hope you have an amazing weekend ahead. Thank you so much for hanging out. Till next time, keep on crushing it.